We are eager to know how the new pathways and Basecamp is going to be. So let me introduce our dignified presenters who are from District 124. Well, we have two presenters today. I will start with the lady first. In fact, when I read her introduction, it was so poetic. And I was on cloud nine because I like poems. And let me see how best I can introduce her. We have distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ohri, who is the Program Quality Director of District 124. She joined Toastmasters in 2016 and has played several leadership roles. Quality has always been her hallmark, and she has consistently proved it by being a President's Distinguished Area Director, a President's Distinguished Division Director, and a President's Distinguished Club Growth Director. She has many firsts to her credit. She is the first Distinguished Toastmaster from North Bengal and the first Club Growth Director in India to open a new club in Bhutan, which is a country neighbor to India, which is India's neighbor. On the professional front, she is the vice president of a chain of schools under the aegis of Sri Sri Academy, Siliguri, which is in West Bengal, India. She also says that she is a perfectionist by choice and a bookworm by habit. Distinguished Toastmaster Abha believes in this mantra, that yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, so let's live life queen size in the today. So a hearty welcome to Distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ohri.
Thank you so much. It's indeed a pleasure. So when Khalid reached out to me and requested that we could, collaborate and do this Basecamp training, which we conducted in our district last week, I was more than glad because, we've met so many of your leaders recently in California, and I think that has made a personal connect. So looking forward to carry forward this connect that we have made. And of course, we look forward to meeting a whole lot of them in India in the month of January. So I thought since we've been meeting physically, it's a good idea to also come. And if we can be of any help, we are more than glad. And as you mentioned about the mantra I followed, I would like to say that the old Basecamp is history. The new Basecamp is a mystery. And Aruna and I are here to solve the mystery and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you for having us over.
Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Abha. I'm sure that after today's presentations, the mysteries will definitely dwindle and will be reduced to a few. Thank you and welcome. Well, our second presenter is Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna Kumar Patri. Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna is a corporate and employment lawyer who works with Barclays as Head of India Employment Legal. He also holds a master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology. He is a certified design thinker from the University of Sydney. Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna has been a Toastmaster for the last 10 years. He has won several speech contests at the club, area, and division level. He has been a sponsor and founding member of multiple Toastmaster clubs in Delhi. He currently serves as the Associate Director for Program Quality in District 124. A warm welcome to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna, and I pass on the stage to you now for the presentation. Over to you.
Thank you so much, DTM Maya, for this beautiful introduction and energizing me for the presentation. Thank you. So my dear friends and Toastmasters, so as DTM Maya said, so a salvo has been thrown on us, but I really don't know, is it a salvo or is it a magic wand? Because what I find, and in life also, you would also recognize, you would also agree with me, that it's difficult. It's the most complex thing is to bring simplicity, isn't it? And exactly that's what Toastmasters has now done. So they had to solve that mystery that Abha ma'am said by making this Toastmasters journey or the Basecamp the simplified one. And I think that was the most complex job for Toastmasters to do. So why I'm saying that it's a magic wand, because what I find, particularly when I explored through all the different segments of the new Basecamp, I encountered that it's not just a modified Basecamp, rather it's a rebirth of the entire Basecamp. And it's really going to not just make your Toastmasters journey easy, but also it would give you a little bit of more motivation, more encouragement, and more spirit to actually increase the pace of your journey in this path. Okay, so without any further kind of dialogues, so let's directly jump onto the screen, because if it is Basecamp, so we can't really talk anything without looking at the Basecamp. Please give me a thumbs up if you can see the screen. Thank you so much. I don't really need to tell you how to log into the Toastmasters site. You all are well acquainted with this process. So I'm taking you directly onto the page where you land the moment you log into Toastmasters page. If you are not landing on this page because of whatsoever reason, you can simply click on your name here. My name is not Sandhya, but I'm using Sandhya's account. So you can just click on your name and click on my home. You will land on this page. So first things first, what has been changed in pathways in this new Basecamp? Now the pathways, which were 11, now it has been reduced to 6. So where are those 6 and what are those 6? Let's have a look at that. So to explore what are those pathways now available to us going forward, you can click on this Learning Hub. And exactly the way that you were used to select your paths. So you can go through this path, the process. Just click on Choose a Path. Select your language. I'm selecting English here. You can select the language of your choice. As usual, the same process, you have two options. Option number 1 is that go through an assessment wherein the tool will recommend a few recommended paths out of which you can select your preferred one. The other option is that go through all the paths and check what are those different paths and select the one of your choice. So here you can see there are 6 paths, but you can see only 5 paths, right? The 6th one is something that the member is continuing. So these are the only 6 paths that will be available going forward. Dynamic leadership, engaging humor, motivational strategies, persuasive influence, visionary communication, and presentation mastery. Now, few of you would be getting a bit nervous that you are already pursuing one of the paths which you cannot really see here on this page. Don't worry. Toastmasters has not taken that back from you. You can still continue on that path till the time you have not completed it. And how much time do you have to complete it? No limitations. So there is no end date to that. So you can, at your own pace, complete the path that you were already continuing. Now coming back onto my point, what I was saying, that if you want to explore what are these paths and what are those different projects that someone is required to complete under this path, so you can simply click on this link. Once again, I'm showing you. Learn more about the path. You just click on here and it will give you a brief description of this particular path, as well as, so there is a link where by clicking on this link, you can also get into to see what are the different projects under this particular path. I'm not going to that link for now to save some time. Let's get back to our homepage. In the meantime, if you are getting any questions that you feel like asking, I would request all of you either to put it on the chat box or just note it down. So once the presentation is over, Abha ma'am and I will be happy to take up all those questions and we will take you through we will try to clarify all your doubts. Now let's jump onto our Basecamp, which is the major change here. So let's get onto the Basecamp. Now you can see the one thing that has changed, that there is no interim page in between. So earlier it was used to be one page in between before you actually land onto the home page of Basecamp. But here, the moment you click on the Basecamp icon, you would be landing on the home page of the Basecamp. You can see here, there are 4 different segments of this particular page: paths and learning, achievements, feedback, and resources. So we will go one by one. Let's first go with the pathways that you would be continuing. So there are some changes in the paths, not in all the paths. So those legacy paths which have been taken away. So you will have to follow through the same process that you were used to follow to complete all the projects in that path. But as far as the new, the rest of the paths are concerned, so there are some changes in the user interface. So we'll just have a look at that. So presentation mastery is something, so that is continuing. So let's go with this presentation mastery pathways. Now you can see, so it's more presentable and user friendly. You can see here, the member is on level 3. So the moment I click on the pathway, it takes me to the level, to the place where I had left it as a member. You don't really need to struggle that where did you leave it. Otherwise also, so you can go through all the different levels and projects by clicking on overview. So please pardon me for the little slower speed at my end. So here are the different levels and the projects under those levels. So here you can see some green tick marks in front of the projects. So all the projects which the member has already completed, so that will be marked with a green tick mark. And the projects that you would be continuing, so that would be left with these gray tick marks. So the moment you complete those projects, so you will see the green tick mark. Let's go to one of the projects here. If you remember, in the earlier Basecamp, all these projects were in a format which you were unable to open on your mobile device. But now, the entire project, all the learnings of the entire project, so you can find it in a user-friendly, in a mobile-friendly manner. So if you want to access all these learnings from your mobile device, when you are traveling, you are in a metro, or you have some free time, you keep your phone in your hand almost all the time nowadays. So you can access your paths and projects from your mobile device. So just by clicking on next, so it would be taking you through some interactive pages. So you just go through all the different aspects, different parts of this project. You would recall in the earlier pathway, so there used to be one pre-project assessment and one post-project assessment. So that has been taken off. So now there is no such compulsion of doing a pre-project assessment or a post-project assessment, but something that has been provided to you, which is at your choice, you can do, is that this particular portion as assess and reflect. Rather than going predefined, sorry, someone saying something?
Please you continue. Everyone else, please mute yourself. Apology
Okay.
for this.
I would request all the members who are not really speaking. Yeah, thank you so much, host, for muting all. Okay, so now here you can see, so there are 2 segments, know and wonder. So anything that you want to know, you can add it here before you go through the rest of the portions, rest of the learnings in that project. And if you wonder about something that I wonder how to deliver a persuasive speech to an audience, so you can add those points here. Similarly, so you will have another kind of a box that you will see in the latter part of this page, where you can add on all your learnings in this project. So just go through it. You put down your own comments that what do you want to know and what do you want to understand. So you keep on adding these items into your own learning path. So this is more interactive, comparatively more value-oriented than the earlier projects that were used to be in the earlier Basecamp. You go through all these contents just by clicking next, and going through all those learnings that is provided here. So I'm just rapidly taking you to the end of the project. So your end of the project is complete your project. So the moment you complete your project, so all the points that you would have added at the time when you were going through this learning in the know and wonder part, so those would be reflected here. At the same time, now you have the option to add this learnings. Whatever you have learned in this entire process of going through all these contents in this path, in this project. So we can add all those learnings here in this portion. Now the best part is that, so now you need to complete your project. So how we were used to complete our project? So the moment we are done through the learnings, we were used to approach the VP education for a speech slot, and we were used to decide who should be our evaluator, or sometimes when we ask the club VP president to VP education to support us in providing an evaluator. Now this has been done in a more user-friendly and automated digitized manner. So the moment now you are ready to deliver your speech, you write down your speech title, the date of your speech when the VP education has confirmed you with a date. You now select your club. So the moment you select your home club, if you are a member of multiple clubs, you can select whichever club you want to deliver the speech. Then select the evaluator. So all the members of the club will be reflecting here. You select one of the members whom you want to evaluate your speech, and then you select the evaluation form. Considering which particular project that you are pursuing and that you would be delivering a speech, so you select that particular project evaluation resource. And the moment you select this evaluation resource, so now here's a form. You can also put down your customized request for the evaluator to evaluate as part of the evaluation process. So you do that. Now you have two options, either to save the log. You can simply save it without sending it through an email or automated manner to the evaluator. If you want to do that, click on save log. But if you want that this request that the evaluator should be alerted about the fact that you have selected him as an evaluator, and he or she is required to evaluate your speech, you just click on save and email. So this log will be saved, as well as an email will be fired to that particular evaluator, who will get it in his mailbox, as well as in his Basecamp, that you has requested him to evaluate your speech. So this is as easy, and it would be really reducing or saving some of your time that you were used to spend doing all those physical manual work of sending your PDF evaluation form to your evaluator and asking him to evaluate. And most of the time you also would have encountered that the evaluator missed that evaluation form while both of you were in the club. So now this will be solved here. Even the evaluator can also evaluate the speech, not just on the offline form. He or she can also evaluate it directly from the tool, from the Basecamp. So once you are done with all the projects, so now the time is to the level completion. So once you complete your level, once all your projects are done, so here it says that completion of all project in this level is required. This red band is showing because this particular member has not really completed all the projects that is required for level 3. But once you have completed all those projects, so you will not find this kind of a warning. And you can simply come here, select the club where you want to submit this level for completion, and click on submit. The moment you click here the submit button, it will go to the VP education, the Basecamp managers, for approving this level completion project. Sorry, the level completion. So this is how this has become more interactive, more easy, and more user-friendly. Now let's come on to the point, electives. So you know, level 3, 4, and 5, there are few electives that the member can elect or select out of few recommended projects. So here you can see in the electives, so there are multiple projects that I can see. And for this particular level, so if you refer here, so it says that at least 2 projects are required for this particular level. But your learning is not limited in Toastmasters. So you get unlimited learnings in Toastmasters. So you have all the options of adding all these projects into your level if you want to really go through all these different learnings. The moment you select these different projects that you want to learn as part of your electives and click on submit, you will find all these projects are now listed on the index side of the page. So you can directly navigate into those different projects directly by clicking here and getting into those different headings of that particular project. So for example, this deliver social speeches. So what are there? What are the different learnings under the deliver social speeches? So you can have a glance through all these details. And if you don't want to really go with that particular project, deselect and then click on submit. And it will be removed from your particular level. You are no more required to go through this project anymore. But for completion of this level, you need to complete with 2 different electives. So you are free to select any of the 2 electives from out of all those recommended electives that's available on this particular section of the page. So before we proceed to the Basecamp manager, so this is all for a general member to follow the paths on pathways or the projects and the levels in the pathways. So before we move on to the Basecamp manager, any questions so far quickly if we can address?
Yeah.
Teacher
Shall
Aruna, you can continue and we will address all the question in Q&A session. We have 15 minutes separately.
Sure. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Dinesh. Okay, so before we get into the Basecamp, so there are a few other segments I just forgotten to cover that. So let me first cover that as well. So here is the path and learnings that we have already discussed, wherein you can see the active paths. We just went through those active paths, wherein the member is continuing with this path. You can also see all those suggested learnings that you get when you complete different levels, and TI recommends few suggested learnings. So you can also see that. If you have already completed a path, you can also see those listed here. This particular member has not really completed any path. That's why so it's not showing anything here. But if you have completed one of the pathways, you can also see that here reflecting on this page. Now let's get onto the second segment. That's the achievements. So this is something that the most beautiful part that I find. So all the different badges that you earn. So be it the learning badges or the feedback badges. So learning badges is something that when you complete those levels in your learning path, you get these badges. And the feedback badges are the badges that you get from the other members of the club. So you would be finding all these here in this particular segment. Also, so we discussed while completing a project, when you are capturing the speech log, so all those speech logs would also be reflecting here. So you can see all these achievements, be it your learning achievements, be it your behavioral achievements or support achievements or your speech achievements. So you can see everything on this achievement page. So you can further filter it on what are those badges that you have already earned, or what are those badges that are available for you to earn, means you are continuing in those paths. So you can see this here. Now let's talk about the best part of these badges. Going forward, you would be able to share these badges on social media with your friends and your colleagues. How? It's very simple. Just take the mouse, hover the mouse on this particular badge. You will see that share badge, click on it. It will provide you the option to put it as part of your LinkedIn or Facebook. If you have already logged into your LinkedIn or Facebook, it would directly take you to the page, to your account, and you can put your customized message with this badge to share with your friends. If you want to share it through any other social media, which is not here like other than LinkedIn and Facebook, you can simply copy the URL and paste it as part of any other social media account that wherein you want to share this achievement with others. You can do it both for the learning badges as well as for the feedback badges. There is one more option also available on this page, but here I can't see it, but it would soon be reflecting, or maybe few of the members can see in their pages. So you can also see all your certificates listed here. So all the level completion certificates that you get for your respective pathways. So those certificates would be available here for you to take a printout, or you can simply download and share it with others as an achievement. Now let's come on to the feedback section. So feedback, you can see here, there are 2 formats of feedback, member feedback and evaluation feedback. So member feedback is simply getting feedback from the members, your fellow members of the club, or sending feedback to your fellow members of your club. If you want to give feedback to your members of your club, click here, select the club name and any member or any members whom you want to give feedback. Give whatever feedback, inputs, comments that you want to write about them. You would have seen these feedbacks earlier, but the new feedback, these badges earlier, but the new badges, those have been added here, are the role player badges, which you can see like our counter, topic master, timer, etc. So if somebody did something good, you want to really pass on your feedback to that particular member or few members, you can select those members or member. You can write down your feedback and then select a badge and then decide that whether you want that particular feedback and badge will be available specifically to that member whom you are giving the feedback, or generally for anyone in the club who can see that member getting this feedback from you. Accordingly, you can select if it is visible for all members, it's a public feedback that you are giving. If you are selecting visible to the selected members only, that means only that member would be able to see the feedback as well as the badge, not all other members would be able to see that. So how all other members would be really seeing that badges that you earn is something that we will discuss in the course of this presentation. So this is the member feedback when you are giving the feedback to others. What about when you do something good and you expect others should also give feedback for you? Click on request feedback. A similar form will open. So you can select the club. If you are part of multiple clubs, in the drop down, you will see multiple clubs and you can select which club, which member you want to really get your feedback from. Depending on the selection of your club, you will find the drop down list of all the members. If there are multiple members or a single member from whom you want to get feedback, just select accordingly and write down whatever request that you want to put to that member seeking feedback. And also mention that once that particular member gives a feedback for you, whether that feedback should be available only to you or to all the club members. So you can also select here and then put this button, click this button as send request, and this feedback request will be put to that particular member whom you would have selected for it. Now let's get into the fourth part of this page, that's the resources. So now all your learning resources would be available here. You don't need to really struggle to find out if you missed to download or you are getting an evaluator who is not a member of your club. You want to give a PDF version of your evaluation form to that evaluator and you are struggling to find out the PDF version of your evaluation, you can simply find it from this resources segment. You can filter it by
DTM Aruna, apologize to interrupt you. 1 second. Toastmasters Ali, I think you switched off your mic. Interpreter people cannot listen to you. Toastmasters Ali, I'm giving you co-host. You can unmute yourself. Arabic people can move to the Arabic channel. Continue, DTM Aruna. Sorry for interruption.
No, that's fine. Thank you, Dinesh. So in this resources segment, so you can find out all your project resources that you can simply download or directly share with those respective members from whom you want to get the feedback. So for example, here, the social speech basics. So if you want to share it with a particular member, so you can just select the club name and the member name, and this will go to them as an email attachment. And they would be easily able to find out whatever resources that you want to share with them. So you can filter it with whatever has been shared with you or whatever you have seen right now, recently viewed, and anything that you would have added to favorite by clicking on this heart icon. Similarly, there are categories like you can select whatever specifically you are searching from on this page. That is it a project resource, is it a project description or evaluation resource, or any translated project PDF format, or any specific tutorial. Also, you would be able to select the language of your choice. So if you want that, you don't want to really see all those English versions, you are in Arabic speaking portion, then you can simply select Arabic and this will filter. And next time also when you land on this page, you would only be able to see the Arabic resources, not the English resources. And similarly for other languages, so just select the language of your preference and you would be landing on the page with your language only. And you can clear all if you want to just have access to all the different options available here. Now, few of you would be thinking that, okay, so there is a digital evaluation form which can be used only if the evaluator is from the same club. What about if an evaluator is from another club? How would you really be asking that person to evaluate your speech? The simple answer is that you will have to follow the same process that you were used to follow before this digitized evaluation form came in. You will have to download, or you can share it directly from here, the evaluation form with that particular evaluator, with that particular Toastmaster. And that Toastmaster will have to fill in the details as part of your evaluation, and we'll share that with you. Now, if you want to keep a log of that, how can you keep that log? You can add that as part of your speech log in that project, as well as that evaluation form, you can upload it to the My Documents segment. So here you can see under resource, there are two buttons, a resource that I just showed you, and the other button is My Document. So in My Document, you get 1 GB free storage space that TI provides to you to upload your files, not just the PDFs. You can also upload your speech videos or the speech audios in MP4 format. And if you want to also upload any particular presentation, any learning in a PPT format, so you can also do that. So you can use this My Documents segment to store all your additional learnings that you collect in the path of going in that project or in pathways. So these are the 4 different segments that can be used by any member while assessing through the Basecamp. Now let's talk about Basecamp Manager. Who are the Basecamp managers? If anyone would like to answer. In a club,
I think all club officers are the.
Earlier there were 3, but now I believe in the new system, all the XCOM officers have access to the Basecamp.
Wonderful. All of the officers have access to the Basecamp manager section, but who are the Basecamp managers? Or who is the Basecamp manager?
The VP,
VP.
President, Secretary,
Yes,
as before?
that's right. So the VP Education is the only person who is the Basecamp manager with a backup of the president and the secretary. It should not be like all the 7 officers managing the Basecamp manager page. It should be a proper protocol defined within the club that the primary role is of the VP Education. And if the VP Education is not available, or if the project is for the VP Education, because the VP Education cannot really approve his own project completion, path completion. So in those cases, some protocols should be decided that who should then manage this job. Which job? Specifically the job of approving level completions. As far as you are accessing the progress of the members in their respective paths, any EC officer can do that. All the 7 officers can do that. But as far as any path completion approvals or level completion approvals are concerned, so the primary duty should remain with the VP Education, with the president and secretary as backup. And if any other officers are required, it should be a defined protocol within the club. So that's what TI is recommending. But it's not a mandate. So all the clubs are free to decide howsoever they want to do it. But the moment you click on this Basecamp manager, so you land on this page wherein you will find all those approval requests on this page. So anybody who would have completed a level, here you can see this particular member, Aditya Malik, has completed level 2, and he has put it for approval of the Basecamp manager. So, and this has been approved. So if it would be pending, then you would be getting an option to approve it. So the moment you click the approve link, so it would be showing you that all the different projects that the member has completed, or if there are any projects left. So if you find that there are some projects which has not been completed by the member, you will also have the option to deny. Rather than approving it, you can also deny that level completion, and the member will have to once again go through those uncompleted projects and submit it again to you for approval if you are a Basecamp manager. So this is the first part wherein you will find all those approvals. The second part of this page is member overview. So wherein you will get an overview of all the members of your club with their name, the current credentials, with the highest achievement, means which particular achievement that they have completed, if they have completed a path or a level. Then the completed paths, list of all those completed paths, and the last speech date. So if they are keeping a log of those speeches, then you would be able to also see that when the last time they deliver a speech. This will help the VP education or the EC officers to plan the meetings accordingly. So if you find somebody has delivered a speech long time back, then obviously so you can give preference to that particular member to deliver a speech in your next meeting. So similarly, if somebody is really going slow in any particular path, you can talk to that member to understand what are the challenges that they're going through. If they require any support from the EC officers to help them complete their levels or paths. So similarly, so you can also encourage all the members that if they are yet to earn the credentials, so you can encourage them that quickly they should complete the path, they should be more diligent in completing those levels so that they can earn some credentials. So this is a easy and very friendly reference page for all the EC officers and specifically for the VP education to help members in move smoothly, quickly, and effectively on their pathways. The third part is paths in progress. So here you can see a tabular presentation of all the members with their on their respective pathways with the status on their different projects and different levels. So it usually takes a little longer time because there are quite a lot of data that this particular table draws in. So you will have to be a bit patient to really let this page load. So here you can see all the members here, the path that the member has selected. Level 1, so out of 4, completed 1. Out of 3, completed 0. Out of 3, completed 0. Out of 2, completed 0. Out of 2, completed 0. 1, it's completed 0. The moment somebody completes the entire level, so you will see a green tick mark here. Otherwise, so it would be showing like out of 5, only 1 has been completed, or out of 4, only 1 has been completed. So this is how you can also keep an eye of like which member is moving in this journey, in this learning journey, how smoothly, or if there are any kind of roadblocks and challenges for them. So that would be also helping the VP education and the president and the club officers to help those members accordingly. So even if you want to see that this particular member, so which all paths, so it's me, it's my name. So if you want to see that what all different paths that I completed for my level 1 completion, so you can see that all those even projects are also listed here. So by clicking on the name, you can also look into all those details. Recent activity is something that any of the club members can easily, any of the EC officers, all the Basecamp managers can easily see. So whatever activity that has happened in last 60 days, so obviously you would not be able to see last 60 days because it has not yet been 60 days from the date when new Basecamp was launched. So you would be seeing the data from the date of Basecamp was launched. So all the activities that happened on the Basecamp manager page, so you would be able to see it, everything here. So this is in summary how you would be managing the Basecamp manager dashboard. Now quickly let's get into some sections, some portions that will give a general member some overview of how the other members are doing. If I want to really see how my club members are doing, so the simple way is that I will click on my name here on the top right corner, then my clubs. So if the moment I click on my clubs, I would be able to see all the members here. If I want to see their profile, I can click here and see their profile. So this introduction, interest, and social media handles, whatever they would have captured as part of the Toastmasters page, that would be reflecting here. And the meeting roles that they would have updated from here only, from this Basecamp only. So this will be also reflecting here. You can also see that which path are they following. So if you want somebody to mentor you who would be progressing in the same path, would be little ahead of you. So you can also check that which particular path a member is pursuing, and you can touch base with them for guidance. Similarly, you can see what are their achievements if they would have already achieved something. So you can see all those from the achievements and feedbacks, all those feedbacks that they would have received publicly, the feedbacks that would have been allowed to be shared with the other club members. You would be also able to see all those feedbacks that this member would have received. Let's go back to my clubs again. So this is view profile, viewing in the profile of any particular member. If you want to give feedback for any particular member, so one option you saw on that feedback section. The other option is that you can simply click here and write down. You don't need to really select the club and member because you are directly clicking from the member's name. So you can write down your feedback. Then you select the badge view that you want to give that member. And you can also select that whether you want to give this feedback private or public. Post feedback, and this feedback would be sent to that particular member. If a member, so all the feedbacks that a member gets, so all those feedbacks will be reflecting on this achievement page if it is public. Sorry, if it is be it public or private, so all those feedback badges would be available here. So the member would be able to see all those achievement as the feedback badges as part of the achievement, and all the feedbacks that the member would have received would be coming under this member's feedback segment of the feedback page. So the member would be able to see your feedback on this particular page. Although you see here, this is a blank one because this member has not really received any feedback, but all the feedbacks that the member gets, that will be reflecting here. Now let's get back onto my profile page. So this is, it's me, Sandhya. And if it is my profile page, I can see my profile details like introduction, interest, and social media handles that will be reflecting whatsoever I would have captured as part of the Toastmasters account. If I have not captured anything, obviously, so these would be remaining blank. But if I have captured something, so that would be coming here. Now, the best part, the new thing that has been added here is to capture the meeting roles. So if I want to keep a log of all the different meeting roles, other than the speeches that I have been I'm delivering out of my projects, if I want to also keep a log of all the different meeting roles that I have been playing, so I can also do that by clicking on this pencil icon. I can select like whatever role that I played, which date did I play that role. I don't need to really save that which club did I play this role. And the moment I click it as save, so it will be saved here. Now you must be thinking that, okay, so I have played the counter role or I played the counter role multiple times in a month. So you can also add multiple times the counter role and everything would be coming in here. So you can see here, so 2 times counter, so 2 times is coming in. Let's say inadvertently you added something that you have not actually played that role. You can also remove that. You can delete that. So this is a very user-friendly and motivating segment of your own profile page, wherein you would be able to really see not just about your personal details, and all these personal details that you see here would be also available to all other members to know more about you. And those members would also be able to see what are the different meeting roles that you have played if you would have updated it through this particular page. Similarly, achievements. So all the achievements that you see from that achievement segment, you can also see it from here. So all the achievements that you would have, all the badges that you would have earned, be it the learning ones or the feedback ones, as well as the speech log. Similarly, the feedback, all the feedbacks that you would have received, that would be reflecting here. And you can also directly give feedback or request feedback from this particular page. One more thing, last but not the least, thing that I would also like to highlight. So suppose somebody is requesting you, be it to evaluate the speech or giving to give feedback to that particular member. How do you get to know other than looking at your mailbox? So you can also find that in this notification icon. So this bell icon that you can see in this portion. So this notification icon will show you all the activities that you see. So if you are a Basecamp manager, so you will be also seeing the notifications as the Basecamp manager. If you are just a general member, you would be able to see all these notifications wherein a member would have requested you to give a feedback, or a member would have already given you a feedback. So all these details would be reflecting under this notification segment. So the moment you select those notifications. So you would be able to see all the details under that particular notification, and it would be read. So you can have view all, means all those notifications will be listed here, irrespective of whether you have read that notification or not read it. But once you read that notification, it would be removed from this notification segment. So in summary, so as far as I could take you through all the different segments, so I have already done that. Happy to answer if there would be any questions, or if DTM Abha would like to add anything that I would have missed in this process. DTM Abha.
Hello, everyone. So I think Aruna has taken us through each and every detail, and I'm sure there are hardly any questions, but of course we do have a few. One question that everybody has been asking is, what if the evaluator is from another club? So in fact, I don't know how many of you have attended the webinar, which was conducted by World Headquarters, but there also, that was one question which we had. And the answer to it is simple. We just do it the way it was done earlier. Right, Aruna?
Right.
So if
So
you
the
could
same process
explain
we
on
will
that,
follow.
because that is one question everybody is asking.
Yeah. And two parts of it. So one, getting evaluation, and the other one is that keeping a speech log. So you can still fill in that form that I showed you while you complete a project to fill in the speech log. So you can fill in your speech name, speech title, and the date. You don't need to fill in all other details because you are not really posting that digital form to the evaluator, because you are getting it managed offline. So you just put your speech title and the date and save log. So the speech log will be saved, but the evaluation would be happening in the legacy way as it was used to happen. We were used to download that PDF form and send it to the evaluator. Evaluator does it, fills it up, and sends back to you. So the same process will be continued here.
And there is also a PDF. There are two PDFs, in fact. One which will help you to act as a Basecamp manager, and the other. So I would request Aruna if you could put those two PDFs also in the chat box. So that will also help you, because as a Basecamp manager or as a member, that will help you. It's a step-by-step instruction on how to manage the new Basecamp. Yes, any questions?
About the evaluator part, when the presentation was going on, I saw selection of the evaluator. Now, it gives a choice of the club. So, but the club would be that you are a member of, right? It will not be any outside club, because earlier what we used to do, what most of the clubs used to do is we used to invite evaluators even from the other clubs. But
Right.
if you are going through the Basecamp, then it will be possible to choose the evaluators only from the clubs that you are a member of. Am I right?
Yeah, so there is no such compulsion that you will have to select and evaluate only from your club.
Okay.
So it's an add-on utility that if you are selecting one of the members from your club, you can send the evaluation form digitally without downloading the PDF and sending it to the member. But if you are doing the other way around, so you will have to follow the earlier process of getting the evaluation.
So basically, in case your evaluator is from another club, the way we used to do it earlier, you send the PDF of your evaluation form and you upload it. This is just to help you, and you see, since you also have that feedback option. So if your members in your club can also give the feedback. So if you remember earlier, I think it would be done in your clubs also. So in our physical meetings, all the members were encouraged to give small chits and give their own little feedback to the speaker. So this is something similar, which makes it easier for every member to give feedback, which of course, every speaker would really benefit from.
Correct. Yeah, that question is answered. One question that I wanted to ask is, now that we have only 6 paths in the Basecamp, supposing someone is doing team collaboration, how does one find team collaboration now in the new Basecamp? Is it a part of the 6 pathways, or how does the member go about?
Yeah, so if someone is already pursuing one of the paths that is no more in Basecamp, so they would by default get it as part of their Basecamp. If they are still pursuing it. Even if
But
you would
that
have
is-
completed, sorry.
No, that is only if you've already started that path.
You're
There
right.
is no option for you to purchase any of the paths, any of the other paths. But if you're
Okay.
already on it, you will find it is already showing up in that individual person's Basecamp.
Okay, so it will
show
be
up.
visible only to the members
To the
who have
members.
opted for
Yes.
that path
That
and are
member.
continuing.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So just further to add, so even if you would not have started at all on that project, but if you have on that path, if you have bought it, you will get it in your Basecamp.
Okay. Okay. Fine. We have one question from a member here, Divya Sachdeva. Are you there? You can go ahead with your question since your question is a bit lengthy. Divya Sachdeva, are you there?
Members who are asking the question, please raise your hand because you all are muted. Just raise your hand first, then I will unmute.
Divya Sachdeva, is she there? Okay, I will go ahead with another question that I have received. So when a member wants to purchase a path now, those 6 paths will be shown on his or her Basecamp, right? Like presentation mastery, then it will be there on the Basecamp of the person. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, and it can be selected. Okay. The DTM project, like in the old Basecamp, will the DTM project be also shown once it's unlocked in the Basecamp?
Yes. So the same process, like if you would have completed 2 paths and achieved all those different leadership kind of titles, then obviously, so you would get it by default, but sometimes you don't get it. For example, when I applied for I had to go through my DTM project, I could not really see that. So I just had to write a mail to TI. And the moment I wrote the mail, so in a day or two, so I could see that in my Basecamp. I think the same thing would continue here. So sometimes it get missed by the headquarters. So you just need to remind them.
Okay. Okay, we have Divya Sachdeva there. You can unmute her, Toastmaster Dinesh. Let her ask her question. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, good evening.
Good
Good evening.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for this training session. Since the legacy paths and the new paths have been segregated recently, I'm facing one issue. When I go to Toastmasters home after logging in, I see the education program, then I go to pathways, and then I go to paths and projects to see any pathway and its projects inside the path. If I click on any legacy path, it is getting clicked and it is opening the curriculum for that. But when I click my mouse on the new paths, it is not opening. Am I the only one facing this issue? I mean, the mouse is hovering on the new paths, and when I click on that, I'm not able to open them at all.
So have you, Divya, just wanted to know, like, have you purchased multiple paths, like, or you just had that legacy path and you just want to explore the new paths?
Yeah, I was the evaluator for somebody who was doing a new path. And I am myself in a legacy path in level 5. And I tried to open the other person's path to see the projects, but it was not getting clicked. So I had to go through Google and then see the curriculum.
Okay, so I'll show you. So it's an easy way that you can do. So let me just share my screen. So for example, let me go to the learning space you are saying. So if you click on this learning hub, it will take you to choose path. So if you just want to explore all other paths, which you have not really bought for yourselves, then go in this process of like selecting language and continue and then view all path options. So you click on continue. So you can see all these paths, right? So you are saying that moment you are clicking here, nothing is happening. So you just get this radio button selected. Am I right? Divya?
Divya, are you there?
Okay, no worries. So what you can simply do to get into all the different projects or understand what are those projects, just click on here that learn more about this particular path. Click here and view all projects in this path. Now it will take you all those different levels and different projects. So now you can go through that. What are those projects? And if you want to really go through all those different projects in detail, like what exactly this icebreaker under mastering fundamentals are, then in that case, so you can go to your resources section and under the resources, you can find out all these details.
Okay.
Hope that answers your question.
There is another question. Can someone mark a project complete without the evaluation done? Is this validation built in the new Basecamp? I mean, without the evaluation, the project getting completed, or should we rely on the Toastmasters
Abha ma'am will answer this question.
integrity value?
IRSE.
IRSC. I think being Toastmasters, let us all follow IRSC. And in any case, there's no, I believe that Toastmasters is a platform which is helping us in our group. We are not here to prove anything to anyone except for ourselves. So let's do it the right way.
So there are no controls. The answer to this question is that there are no controls. If you want to actually submit a level without even going through a single project, you can just go next, all the projects completed and submit the level. But the VP education should be smart enough to catch hold of you and to say, sorry, deny. Otherwise, if the VP education is on your side, so you can even complete the entire pathway in one day.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, now we can take the question from DTM Nasreen. DTM Nasreen had a question. Is she there?
Nasreen, please raise your hand.
She had raised her hand, but I can't see her now. Not sure.
I
Yeah,
can see.
she's there. DTM Nazreen Izzat. Unmute her, Toastmaster Dinesh. DTM
Yeah,
Nazreen.
Hello, how are
Yes.
you? Thank you for this lovely session. I am honored to be with you. I'm Nisreen Izzat, President of Alexandria Toastmaster. My question was, last week, the Vice President of Education has finished or complete pathway. So I have to approve for her. I clicked on the 25th to approve her and give the command. And then 3 days afterwards, a message or an email was sent again to approve that. So I think we have to click twice or something like that. It's not like the past time that we can approve for her once and that's it. So it did have the approval has to be given twice. That was my question. Thank you.
No, not really. So there is no such requirement of approving one level completion request twice. So it should happen once. The first time when you approve, so it should have been approved. Even so, if you compare with the legacy methods, we were used to approve the level completion and separately we were used to put it as part of education hour submission form. We are no more required to put it even as part of that education hour submission because automatically the member will get the education hour as soon as the VP education or the Basecamp manager approves the level completion. But maybe there would be some technical glitch at that time when you approved for the first time. So therefore it would have come back to you once again. Thank you,
Or,
Nandini.
it may have also happened that just because the new Basecamp has just come, so there may
Yeah.
have been a technical glitch, and that is why you've been asked to, approve it again. That could be a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, when also we attended this workshop with the world headquarters, so they also said this thing that it would take a little time to get all the issues fixed. So sometimes you may get some issues. So if you are getting it, so just clear your cache and just re-log in into the account. Most of the time you would get the problem sorted. If not, then obviously, so you can write to TI if you are getting any kind of frequent issues.
Okay, I hope that answers the question. Now let's take the question from Toastmaster Alvin Philomen. Alvin Philomen.
Hi, am I
Yes.
audible?
Yes.
Yes, Alvin.
Yes, I'm Alvin Philomen from Emirates Toastmaster Club, Dubai. I have two questions. One is you said we can upload videos, we get a 1 TB space. Once when I upload my video, how can I share this with my fellow members or friends? Now, currently what I'm doing is I'm putting it on YouTube or I have it in a mobile and I share it.
Yeah, Alvin, so for now, we don't have any option of sharing the contents that we upload to our My Document folder because it's a My document. So it's only for our reference, not for sharing with members. I think if you really want to share something with your members, then you can continue with the process that you have been following till now, because this My
Perfect.
document is only to store our own documents for our own reference.
Perfect. And second question, any reason why there is a revamp in the pathways? Is it to make it more simpler for people to become a DTM?
Right. As I said, so the main objective was to make it simple and more interactive so that members could get really involved into those pathways. They would get more encouragement and motivation to really follow through all those different modules, projects in the pathways.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just
You've done a
to
wonderful
add-
job with present. Thank you.
Uh,
Yes, madam.
Just to add, it is not to make it easier to become a DTM. It is still as tough as it was earlier. It's just to enhance the member experience. I think earlier, the Basecamp earlier was a bit challenging for those who were not that tech savvy, and in that I get included as well. But, the new Basecamp is so much easier. And as far as the paths being trimmed down, I guess they must have, I think a lot of feedback has been taken from members and leaders across the world. And they've tried to, make it more cohesive in the sense now from 11, it's become 6 parts. But they're also exploring on possibilities to expand on the pathways curriculum. And I'm sure once they do their Reiki and they go through all the processes, they would announce that.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, Aruna. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We can take the next question from Faiza Kazi. Faiza Kazi. Yeah.
Yes, hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you so
Good evening.
much for this informational workshop. I have two questions. The first one, I'm sorry if this question was answered during the session. I missed a part of it, so apologies in advance. But my question is, earlier in the Basecamp, when we used to complete a certain project, there used to be a before quiz and an after quiz. And when you complete both, then we used to get the tick that we have completed that. But now I believe it has changed. So what exactly is the process now for once you complete a project? Because it was a lot of steps when I tried going through it.
Yeah, so you are right, Faiza. So there is no more requirement of pre-project assessment and post-project assessment. But those segments have been replaced with 2 customizable options of putting in your know and wonder, like what exactly do you want to know as part of the project, so you can capture those points from your own interest perspective. And then if you want to really understand something properly, so you can put it as part of wonder. Or if you went through some particular segment and you could not really understand what exactly is that, so you can put it as part of the wonder. And the moment you go through those different segments of the module, and by the time you complete it, so there is another form which you can on your own choice, so you can fill in as what did you learn. And while completing the project, so all those 3 segments would be coming together. So that would help you to understand what were your questions, like what did you want to understand, wherever you got confused or you wanted some clarity in comparison to what have you now learned, if there are
Okay.
anything left out. So this
So
will help
suppose
you to actually,
sorry,
yeah,
suppose someone doesn't enter anything in those sections,
that's
then
perfectly fine.
that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
And my second question was, since the pathways have been trimmed down, some of our members are still pursuing the older pathways which have now been removed. So is there any deadline up to when they have to complete these, or it's okay, they can still go at their pace?
No,
Till the
there's no
time you are a
deadline.
member,
As long as you're a member, and as we all know, this is all at a very, you decide the pace. So you can complete as and when. There's no deadline.
All right. Thank you so much.
We can take the next question from distinguished Toastmaster Murli Manohar.
Hello, very good evening. See, my simple question is, if I'm a member of a club and I want to deliver a speech in another club where I'm not a member, I cannot give an evaluator name and it's becoming a difficult thing. I cannot get my evaluation sheet sent to the concerned person or get his evaluation uploaded. What is the remedy for this?
It's the same like in case you have an evaluator from another club. If you're delivering a speech in another club, you can give that, you can download the PDF of your evaluation form and give it to an evaluator of that club. And then when you upload it in your Basecamp, you just upload the evaluation. It's just like having, whether you have an evaluator from another club or whether you're delivering a speech in another club, the process remains the same.
and just further to add, Murli, so in the project completion segment, so you just need to keep the log of your speech, not the log of your evaluation. So you can simply write down your speech title and the speech date and just save log, so it would be stored. And separately, as DTM Abha said, so you can upload that evaluation form into your My Document section.
Thank you.
Okay. We can have a couple of more questions. Next question from Sirisha Sethuraman.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. As
Good
VP Education, like I'm supposed to submit member awards, like education awards, right? So in my page, I'm not able to, under Club Central, club membership, I can only see membership management, but not submit education awards for members. So is it
So,
something?
Yeah, so Sirisha, the good news is that you have now less work to do as a VP Education.
Okay.
You don't need to really do it twice. The moment you approve it on Basecamp Manager page, so automatically the education awards would be submitted without any further requirement of putting it in a separate form.
Sure, understand. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In addition, as a part of that question earlier, like say if a member was a dual member, the member had a choice to give that, I would say that level recognition to a club of his or her choice. So how does the member go about now? Because there is really no need to do that two-step, right? That two steps is taken care of in one step. But supposing the member wants to give that credit to another club, then how does the member do it?
They can't. They can. So the club where they will have to put, they put the level completion, in that club only they would be getting that education award.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll have one more question from Mazharuddin Galdi. Mazharuddin Galdi. Toastmaster Dinesh, you can unmute him.
Yeah, it's open. He can unmute.
Yeah, hi. Hi, good evening, everyone. Thank you for this wonderful session. My simple question is, I'm the VP of one of the club in Dubai. Can VP update members levels without requesting the member?
Again, I would put this question back to DTM Abha to answer, IRSE.
See, as I said, and as Aruna said, it is so easy to just, just keep clicking and saying, okay, I've completed all the levels.
No,
So
it is
let's-
an approval update from the VP without asking the members. I know that members how many levels she has completed, but she missed to update it. Now, from my side, I want to, as a VP, I want to update on behalf of her. Is it possible without request by the member?
Okay, so from an user interface perspective, if your question is around that, no, you cannot, because the project completion and the level completion request can be put by the member only. So from the member's account only that request can be placed. So as a Basecamp manager, you can only approve it. You cannot really put it on their behalf.
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think that pretty much takes care of the question. There is one more question. As VP, if members don't update their logs as meeting roles, can the VP do it? I hope I read the question correct. As VPE, if members do not update their logs on their meeting roles, can I do that on their behalf?
No. So this edit option of like updating the different meeting roles is available only to those respective members. I cannot do it for DTM Maya. I can only do it for myself.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And
even if I am a Basecamp manager, still I would not be able to do it for any other member.
Okay. And the level completion certificate, is it available as usual? Can it be downloaded? The level completion certificate? It can.
Yes.
And
Maybe
there's
the legacy
one,
certificates. Sorry.
No, continue.
The legacy certificates may not be available, but going forward, all the level completion certificates will be available on that achievement page. Wherein you see the badges, you will be also able to see all those certificates.
Okay. Okay.
And the best part is that you can just click and have your level completion certificate or something sent to your employer if you want. A mail goes. So that is the best part.
Master of Ceremony, I have one question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. DTM Aruna, if the Toastmasters have the dual membership and the member set his home club is the first one, which is his home club. Second club, Vice President Education, as I know, cannot monitor the progress of the member.
Yeah, so the progress of the member can be monitored by both the clubs, because that member would be available on the rosters of both the clubs. So the Basecamp managers would be able to see in the tabular form that you saw all the members, irrespective of wheresoever they are progressing their journey. So even if I am progressing my journey in Club A, Club B, Basecamp managers can see that how my progress is going. The only restriction is that if I put my level completion in Club A, Club B would not be able to approve it. Club B would not get that for the DCP credits.
Maybe it is the new, because in the old Basecamp, I experienced that one of the member, he is the dual member, and I was the vice president in that second club. I was not able to monitor his path and the progress. Might be I'm mistaken somewhere. Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, yeah, one of the more question is, I think, raised hand by District 20 Program Quality Director, DTM Khalid.
Yeah, we will take that for the last question. Yeah, distinguished Toastmaster Khalid Jalal, from you.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to remind about the red light and my final question, and we should conclude with that, I think. There are some reports that sent to the members or the club officers. If you can just quickly highlight that, and then we can conclude the meeting. Thank you.
Sorry, DTM Khalid, so I could not really get your question. If you could just repeat it.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, whatever actions we take the Basecamp, there are some reports club ExCom members, like which member has completed, especially the president or the VP education, they get an email saying that this member has completed so-and-so path or the levels. So they're always updated. I think there's a weekly email or monthly email goes out. Am I right?
I'm not really aware about any such report being automated, like automatically being going to the members or the club officers. I'm not really aware. DTM Abha, if you would be able to answer this question.
Yeah, it's coming.
I do get
It's coming now in new Basecamp.
Yeah,
This
I
is
do
where
even
get
I'm
email
getting as
with
a
that.
secretary, we get it.
Okay. Okay.
Plus,
Thank you.
as a club
This is something
president,
new
I
for me.
do get as a club president, I do get a report which says the members' project completion status.
Okay. Okay. But on the Basecamp only, so you can see all those last 60 days activity on the Basecamp page.
Yeah. Back to you, Mayaji.
Thank you, PQD. On that note, I must say that, well, there will be more questions as we all access the Basecamp and try to understand more about it. And I'm sure that we have your contact numbers, Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna and Distinguished Toastmaster Abha. So we will also be troubling you maybe at times if we do not get the answers for them.
Not
But
at
it was
all,
a
not at all.
So anytime.
But I will request you that those two PDFs which DTM Aruna has posted in the chat box, if you could kindly circulate that amongst your members, I think that would solve everyone's queries. It's done stepwise and it has clear-cut directives for Basecamp manager and for the members. So it will really be very, very helpful.
Okay. Toastmaster Dinesh, can you save those two files and we can circulate it in the group later on, in our group?
Sure, sure.
Also, can you please share it again on the chat? Again,
Yeah,
I
I'm doing
missed
so.
it.
Yeah, I'm doing.
Okay. On that note, I would like to thank Distinguished Toastmaster Aruna Kumar Patri and Distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ohri for a wonderful presentation.